Guardian soy boy Owen Jones thinks that the Brexit betrayal rally was a massive humiliation for not just Tommy Robinson but UKIP as well.
Over 15,000 people marched against Tommy Robinson and his fascists. Only 3,000, some are saying only 1,500, marched with Tommy Robinson, that convicted fraudster and thug, and his fascists. A total and utter humiliation for Tommy Robinson and his band of fascists. They didn't mobilise barely any people on the streets of this capital, despite all their resources, all the money being ploughed in from the US and elsewhere. This is a historic day. They came out in tiny, derisory numbers, whilst we, those who oppose the scapegoating of migrants and refugees and Muslims, for all the injustices caused by the people at the top of society in this broken system that has to go, we have out-mobilised by a massive, massive margin. A humiliation for Tommy Robinson and a humiliation for fascism, and a victory for those standing against racism and fascism.
Tiny, derisory numbers? Owen, I was there.
How's the Jupiterian presidency in France going, Mr. Macron?
I took footage of the march going past.
Are we going to wait till the entire thing passes, or...?
Yeah, I figure so. Hey! How you doing, man? You all right?
You're right.
Yeah.
And from the stage.
Brexit means Brexit! Brexit means Brexit!
The real tiny derisory numbers were from the counter-protesters. For some reason, the leftist media is promoting the narrative that there were 15,000 counter-protesters. No. Here's some footage of the real number of counter-protesters.
I read
That's right, about 200 desperate and bedraggled leftists.
Did you say want?
While around 5,000 Brexiteers turn up to protest the Conservative government's total mishandling of Brexit.
Does this House want to deliver Brexit?
How absolutely dare you, sir?
Ash, right, what's going on this Sunday? What's happening? Come on.
So, the TLDR is that Tommy Robinson, who likes to periodically go through these reinventions, is now presenting himself as the saviour
Like a
of
fascist
Brexit.
Madonna.
He's like fascist Madonna, except instead of like prayer era, it's like the Brexit era. Anyway, he's getting his sort of army of badly dressed, angry men out on the streets to defend Brexit. So what we're doing is, because our own families don't want to see us on a Sunday, we're participating
Or Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday. Anyway, carry on, sorry.
Oh, the rest of this is you're just like, I've got a lot of food.
I know, I'm sorry, this is, for me, it's a support group. Carry on.
So what we're doing is we are marching against him, what he stands for, and it really doesn't matter whether you'll leave or whether you'll remain, because yes, there's a 52%, 48% split in the country on Brexit, but 99.999% of people think he's an absolute dickhead. So that's why we're going.
But do you know who wasn't at the Remainer protest? That's right, Ash Sarkar.
So how did it go, sir?
Well, I actually wasn't on the counter demo today. I thought it would be a great idea to go to the Tommy Robinson march, and it turns out being a 5'2" Muslim woman is pretty damn conspicuous.
I've got a beer that I can't pronounce.
فحص تبين أن في دم حولة نسبة لا بأس بها من الكحول، لكن هذا الأمر يبدو بديهيا وطبيعيا في بلدة الشيوعيين.
We've got a media in this country which is run by a bunch of very wealthy oligarchs, and what they do is they constantly ramp up.
طبقنا عليك حد الخمر وإن ارتدت عن دين الله قتلناك فثبت الرجل على دينه ولم يشرب الخمر أبدا بعد ذلك.
I'm sure her imam is going to be very interested in hearing about that. She was too busy trying to infiltrate the Brexiteer protest, except for the fact she's kind of famous for being a literal communist.
I'm literally a communist.
I'm literally a communist.
And she got spotted and told to get lost.
They clocked I wasn't one of theirs, even though I was like, Flexit. so we got a bit mobbed.
She said that being a 5'2" Muslim woman was pretty damn conspicuous, but it was actually that she's famous for being an annoying left-wing activist and literal communist, as she said to Piers Morgan.
And,
so what was the response from the people there?
Well, the problem was that they'd recognised me specifically from doing anti-fascist videos.
Not only was the anti-Brexit protest that was staged an absolute failure that petered out before the main Brexit protest had even finished, the main Brexit protest had no problems whatsoever. Everything went swimmingly, the crowd had a great time, all the speakers were magnificent, and it was a real demonstration that UKIP are capable of putting thousands of people out in the streets to protest the Conservative government, ruining our chances to have an independent and sovereign country.
I've listened very carefully to what has been said in this chamber and out of it.
The narrative being spun by the deranged Remainers of the 15,000 anti-Brexit protesters that turned up to protest a few hundred Brexiteers is a complete lie. The reality is actually the complete opposite. Around 5,000 Brexit protesters turned up, and around 200 anti-Brexit protesters turned up. They managed to get themselves in trouble and get a handful of themselves arrested.
But one of the things I've noticed about these big mobilisations, particularly because there is a vibrant left culture in this country, that's to do with the Labour Party, that's to do with momentum, and it's also due to the growth of these anti-fascist networks. Everyone there is really friendly.
Because it'll be portrayed, right? It'll be, you know, and Tommy Robinson's crew all doing that. These are thugs and hoodlums. Look at us. So it will be, honestly, the atmosphere when you go, honestly, it will be a moment you'll remember.
Stop it. Stop it.
Be quiet. I've not the slightest interest in hearing you yelling in the background. Sit down, be quiet and listen, and if you're not able or inclined to do that, sir, order!
Because it's always the left that starts the violence at these protests. The Brexiteers did absolutely nothing wrong. The only violence came from the leftist protesters, who decided to attend even though nobody wanted them there in the first place. On the Brexiteer side, there was no violence whatsoever. On the Remain side, there was, possibly because they were being led by Guardianista soy boys and literal communists. Good luck with your narratives next time, you champagne socialists. And maybe, just maybe, you could look at the actual tyranny coming from the European Union and perhaps maybe protest that. Because at the end of the day, what kind of communist supports the European Union? And Owen Jones, next time you think about telling such a brazen lie, remember that this is all on video. This country is sick of middle-class Remainers. And frankly, we want you to all shut up, you bunch of wankers.
Confidence, that's all to play for.
I think that DUP's worst case scenario is a reunification